Yeah. So if you don't know what happened to me recently, um yeah, I got sick basically. My family got sick, and I came down with something as well. It was only a couple of days. I thought it was going to be the flu. It wasn't the flu, thank goodness. So after a couple of days, I recovered. I rested. I was totally fine. So but during that time, I was thinking, time away from you guys, time away from making content. I was thinking like, what can I do to really expand the value and the content that I'm giving? And I got inspired by a YouTuber that I watched, and just noticed like how he sets up his content, clips and things like that. And I realized that he had a whole nother category of live shows that he does on a regular basis. So not just streaming, like an actual show that he produces and plans and stuff like that. And I thought that's kind of what I should be doing as well. You'll see me breaking this up into parts as well, but I do have a show plan for you guys. And as you can see from the thumbnail, this is what we're going to talk about. Is going to be focused on the holiday season, which is coming. Thanksgiving in America has just passed, and now we're getting into the main part of the holidays. But one thing you might not realize is that the holidays are very, very different here in Japan than they are, especially particularly in the states where I'm from or in Western countries. And I'm going to walk you through step by step, like what to expect if you have a girlfriend or you're just curious about what it's like to spend the holidays with someone here in Japan, what they do, differences and stuff like that. And I'm gonna also give you some recommendations, some things to look out for, some things that you should do if you want to, go to Drop the Draws land, have an intimate, nice holiday, or just know what you're getting yourself into in terms of your relationship. So that's what we're really gonna focus on. I got my notes here. I got my laptop and everything. So let's get into it, right? All right. So first, let's talk about New Year's Eve, right? Now New Year's Eve and let's start over again. Okay, we're not talking about New Year's Eve. First, let's talk about Christmas Eve, right? And now Christmas and Christmas Eve are, if you don't know, are really, really important here in Japan, but for different reasons than you might realize. So in America, Christmas is kind of peak holiday season. You got families, you got presents, you got, fireplaces and candy canes and whatever you guys do with your family. That's kind of your image of Christmas. Japan is totally weird compared to that, and it's very, very different. I mean, it's just different. Like I kind of can't knock it because I lived here for so long, but I do have to acknowledge that there are a lot of cultural differences that you will notice, and you will be probably be shocked by, especially if you're in a relationship with a Japanese woman. Um, and some rules or things you're going to need to abide by, or at least just be aware of, so that you can kind of navigate this successfully. And that's what we're going to walk through, right? So the first thing you need to understand is Christmas Eve is more important than Christmas Day here, right? Like, which is kind of a shocker, but the vast majority of activity happens on Christmas Eve. Like 99% of Christmas related activity happens on Christmas Eve here. You got the Christmas turkey, no, not even Christmas chicken. If you know, Kentucky Fried Chicken is a big thing. Not everyone eats Kentucky Fried Chicken, but there are a bunch of Japanese people who line up for Kentucky Fried Chicken on Christmas Eve. Amazing marketing by KFC. Um, there are these. I don't like them. These little soy sauce dripped chicken turkey legs that I'm not a fan of at all. They sell them at the convenience store now too. Basically, everyone's just trying to get on, on the Christmas buzz, and anything Christmas themed that they try and push it as real Christmas related stuff. It's not really at all. Um, but and Christmas cake is a big thing, which we're going to talk about in a second, because this is something I think the most important thing, whatever level of your relationship you're in, the Christmas cake is something you're really going to need to understand, and you're not going to want to fumble the Christmas cake bag, right? So, first thing, if you're in a relationship, you have to understand, and here in Japan, you have to understand that Christmas is a date holiday. It's more romantic than Valentine's Day here by multiples. So, doing something with your girlfriend, fiance, whatever, is a must, right? Now, in the past, traditionally, I've heard like in the 80s and stuff like that. Let me get a little back support. In the past, I've heard that, going to hotels and fancy restaurants and stuff like that during the bubble era, the peak Japan, which you've probably been aware of in the scene in like the 80s and stuff like that. That was the main time for like hotel, fancy dinner, maybe flowers, cruising around somewhere, doing something. I never did any of that. I don't recommend you try and do all that. You don't need to break the bank to enjoy some holiday romance on Christmas Eve. What I do recommend though is you have to have a plan, of course. The number one thing is eating in. Eat in with your girlfriend. Tell her you want to spend Christmas with her. She probably wants to spend Christmas with you. If you're in a relationship right now, new, like more than several months, now is the time where you got to start. I'm recording this on November 30th. Now is the time where you got to start lining up your Christmas Eve plans. Like if it's someone you're seriously dating, you hollering at seriously, you want to take it to the next relationship. Now you got to start asking that person, hey, what are you doing for Christmas Eve? Even if you work, even if they work, set up something for late, overnight stay, something like that. All the hotels are probably going to be booked up just because a lot of young couples who want some private time together, who live with their folks, that's what they're going to do. But hopefully either you or her live by yourselves, and so you can just plan something like that. I recommend either you cook or she cooks. A combination of buying a lot of. If you have a department store near you, you meet up together, buy a bunch of things, or do a dinner together. I've talked about it in another video. Do that. But the most important thing that you're gonna have to do is get the cake. You got to get the Christmas cake. Like the man's job in Japan is to get the Christmas cake. I do it every year. It's just something you got to go through. Wherever you are, there's gonna be a department store around. They do have reservations available for Christmas cake. I never make a reservation for Christmas cake. Um, some people line up for it. Like I don't think you need to. There's never like a shortage of Christmas cakes. You're gonna be able to find one or find something. Um, the cake itself is not the issue, but just going to do it is gonna be your thing. Tell her, okay, you cook, I'll bring the cake, or we'll go shopping together. I'll bring a cake and we'll go shopping together, or we'll do the cake shopping, however you want to do it. Right? For me, ideally, my image simulation is she lives by herself. You ask her to cook. Ask her, does she want you to bring anything? You offer to bring the Christmas cake and ask her if she wants you to bring anything else. Probably you bring some wine or whatever if you drink, some alcohol, some spirits. She'll how to handle the food, something simple. She's like, what do you want to eat? You could just tell her nabe or something simple. You just want to spend time with her. That's going to be enough to get her moist. But anyway, so yeah, my theory on the Christmas cake has changed quite a bit after doing this for a while. I don't like traditionally you'll see people do the whole like one cake, right? Like one Christmas cake. But it's actually a lot more fun if you do it differently. Get slices of cake. So like if you go to a department store, like probably in the basement, normally typically is where the food is. Look for any cake shop that sells individual slices of cake because it's a lot more fun to sample different cakes together with your partner or in my case my family versus like having one whole cake and we slice it all and everybody gotta eat the same thing. It's just more fun to just switch and share and try this. Ooh, this is better. This is better than last year. Stuff like that. It's much more of a social kind of thing, and you and your partner will enjoy it a lot more than just sitting down slicing. Of course, like you'll have like the moment of a picture together, whatever you want to do. But trust me, just the experience, the bonding kind of thing, multiple slices of cakes is going to be so much better than one cake by itself, right? So just remember that. All right. Next, next. Make my notes. Okay, you got romance, of course, right? Now, the next big thing you're gonna have is romance on Christmas Eve. Like that's pretty much what it's for, right? It's your time to be romantic. I don't know why. I don't like. Again, I've heard stories that gifts on Christmas Eve were a thing. I mean, that if you're in a serious relationship, your first time spending Christmas Eve together. If you really want to show like you're down for the cause, you might want to buy a present, but that's setting like a high precedent depending on a lot of factors. So just tread lightly with that. If you do want to give a present, like probably, yeah, showing up without a present would be kind of something like you can expect some presents. You can expect if a girl really wants you, really likes you, a Japanese girl really likes you, and maybe falling in love with you. Scarf, earmuffs, gloves. For a dude, those are the typical gifts you're gonna get. Um, I've heard it's because you think of her and when you're commuting, whatever. I get them too from my family. They're just, yeah, that's just what it's gonna be, right? You're gonna get a scarf, you're gonna get for her. I don't know. I don't know. My wife always just like you're terrible at this, so I can't really give you the best advice for that. But maybe look for on some websites or some other YouTube videos. I'm sure there's going to be some other resources for you. Jewelry, tread lightly with that because again, you're setting the precedent for that. She'll be in love if you give her like a heart shaped necklace, but then next year what you gonna do? So I'm not a fan of like setting the bar too high too early on. So just think about that. But fast forward, of course, you got regular standard, bedroom activities. But before you get to that, you're gonna have to. You're probably gonna want to watch a movie together, right? Do some Netflix, do some chilling, and I found the website. I'm gonna try and put it in the comments. It's a Japanese website though. It's all Japanese, but again, you can use DeepL to translate it if you want. And the reason why I did that is because a lot of times Japanese movies have different titles in Japanese versus English. So and sometimes it's completely different, like completely different. So I might recommend a movie to you in English, but you might not be able to find it because it's not available. The title is completely different in Japanese, and she might not have any idea what you're talking about. But I'll just leave the website there. I'll give you full recommendations, like because a lot of them are like cheesy romantic kind of movies that I really wouldn't want to watch, but I found four that I'm willing to sit through if in a Christmas relationship type situation. First one, interesting one, but makes sense to me, Nightmare Before Christmas. Um, I'd say either your girlfriend is gonna love it and has seen Nightmare Before Christmas a bunch of times, or she's never seen it, might be a little bit dark for her. A funkier girl might be down for that. A standard kind of traditional girl, probably not so much. You're gonna have to use the discretion on that. But Nightmare Before Christmas, I think, works really well. It was on the list. Home Alone, I think, across the board, that's gonna be great. It's been a big hit in Japan. Everyone's seen it. Girl in her or maybe early mid 20s might not have seen it, but it's a heartwarming movie. Um, a comedy called The Night Before. I've seen it with the dude from who's gonna be Captain America. Um, I forgot his name now, but he was he Hawkeye? Or Hawk something? I forgot. Marvel movies kind of suck now, so I can't really remember. Um, but him, he was in it pretty good. Tokyo Godfathers, I haven't seen. It's an anime. I think it's a Ghibli movie or it's a Ghibli style movie. That's kind of heartwarming. It might make you want to cry, but it's like seems like a heartwarming one. But I would probably be willing to sit through it. Anime movie. There's some other ones in there, but a lot of girl kind of chick flick type things, which I really wouldn't recommend. But those four, I'd probably go with if it were me trying to choose like a Netflix and chill Christmas Eve kind of movie night post dinner having drinks before the bed type session. I think that would work really well. All right, so yeah, that takes us through the main stuff for that. Now let's move on to Christmas Day, and basically Christmas Day. If you haven't experienced it in Japan, it's really surreal because it's a regular work day. Like you don't expect to like, hey, what are we gonna do, honey? Let's sleep in, and no, if it's a weekday, like your girlfriend, she's going to work, like she's going to work early, so. if you let's imagine, you do get lucky, you spend the night, be ready to hit the door like early in the morning. You're not sleeping in. I mean, if you do have the day off from your job, like because it's Christmas, um, you if she lets you spend the day at her place, you can, but just be prepared to wake up early and bounce. So don't get too wasted. Don't sleep in too late. Be respect her time, her career, and be ready to hit the door first thing in the morning. Is my advice. Everything, because it's not a national holiday here. Everything's gonna be like super normal. All the Christmas stuff is gonna come down because like right after Christmas, like the day after Christmas, all the Christmas stuff gets thrown out here in Japan, and like the New Year's holiday season starts. So just be prepared for that. It's always a bit of a shocker, like oh yeah, because Christmas is so long here. It's like there's no Thanksgiving, so after Halloween comes Christmas basically, and then it's like a few like after the day after Christmas that gets thrown out and everyone's Japanese again. It's really weird, but it happens every year. It always throws me off, but it is what it is. Living here, so don't really expect your girlfriend or partner to really be, in the holiday festive mood for a couple days after Christmas. Because then it just shifts gears. She's probably finishing up stuff at work or school or whatever she's doing. um, um, and you're probably wrapping up your year as well. So there's just going to be a little bit of a blank in time until we get to New Year's. New Year's is the main event. This is the big one, right? And this is where we got a lot of. Sorry if I'm lagging. I think I'm lagging. I'm lagging. I think I'm lagging. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, we'll see. Hey, hey, hey. Oh, I got some people in here. I'm just checking the screen now. Hey, what's up, you guys? Um, Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Hey, what's up? Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I have a question though. Wait, hold on. Okay, you see, I'm doing this now. I'm starting to freak out, man. I'm freaking out. I got a chat going on. Like I didn't expect anyone to actually be watching this. So, okay, okay, but thank you. Jay Funny, thanks. Yeah, who is this YouTuber? It's me, Akil, man. I'm in the suburbs of Tokyo. Shaq Fu, what's up? Yeah, thank you for the words. Yeah, we're doing good. Everyone's recovering. I was only sick for about 2 days, but I went back to work. I got a flu test. My flu test was negative. I was on meds for a couple of days, but I was really only sick for like 2 days, so it wasn't the flu. I don't know what it was, but the rest of the family, again, my son, he had the flu last week. He's totally fine. My daughter, she's almost recovered. Sorry, I don't have any water. Um, my wife is almost recovered, and so yeah, we're good. We're good. But thank you, um, thank you, Jazzung. Thank you, man. I'm trying new things. I'm trying to get meat dipped in the water. Micro evolved. You have a question? You went on a date with a Japanese girl in October and she said she had a great time and wanted to see the cherry blossoms next year, but me and her don't text all the time. Is this normal for a Japanese woman? Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that at all. Like if she had a good time, it just means she's busy probably. Um, and remember, in Japan, we make plans like really far in advance. So she's just putting you on notice that she wants to hang out with you again in the future, and she's probably going to be busy. Again, sorry, my connection looks a little choppy. Hopefully the audio is okay. I'll check it in post. And I'll figure something out. But but yeah, she just wants you to letting you know that she's gonna be busy for a few weeks or a few months, but don't lose faith. She's still feeling you, but probably in springtime she'll be all right. Sounds like she might be like a university student or just start or something like that, because that might also be the case where it's springtime or whatever. She might be a bit free, but yeah, she's just busy. That's all. Tell her, I would say like no problem, or you might want to meet up with her for White Day. I would probably tell her might want to meet up with her for White Day so you can give her some chocolate or something like that. That might be cool, just to bridge the gap before whatchamacallit, before cherry blossom season. Just a little coffee, get slide her a little chocolate. She might even say she wants to meet you for Valentine's Day before that. Something cafe. I make it a cafe date. just some or like cakes or something like that. She slides you some chocolate, you guys eat some cake, you have some tea, talk for a little bit, keep the relationship percolating. Do it again for White Day, which is in March, and then boom, that slides you right into cherry blossom season in February. So that would be my advice. But okay, all right. So let me get back. Sorry. Okay, yeah, yeah, nah, you good, man. You good. Don't even worry about it. All right. So let me switch screens. I'm gonna switch back to the chat for in a little bit. But let me just kind of keep going through this. So, all right. So we got through Christmas Eve, right? We got the Christmas Eve. Now let's talk about how Japanese girls celebrate New Year's with their boyfriends, right? And now I was talking to my mother-in-law about this. Now when I was telling her what I was doing, so like you got to understand that if you don't know, now you know. New Year's is a huge deal here, right? And for you to be invited to do any New Year's activities by your partner is a huge deal, right? And like, let's say you're talking to somebody and you kind of want to, y'all dating or whatever, and either you get the feeling she's like is starting to go way too serious with you, or you want to take things to the next level, and you want to gauge that, like probably around now, this time of year, late November, maybe even October, probably. It's a little bit late in the game for it, but like October, September, even if you're dating a person, let's say around a year, start asking about their New Year's plans, right? That will either give her the idea that you're starting to be serious about the relationship, maybe even wanting to meet her family, or if she brings it up to you, like, oh, well, why don't you come meet my family or something like that, that lets you know like she's thinking about you as a potential life partner. This is not like let's just come hang out with my folks and watch the game, and have some food. This is like, hey, this is if you might not have heard it. This is my future potential husband. We're on the rails. We're on the road to marriage land, and I'm introducing him to you guys. This is the first stop. So don't take that lightly if she brings it up, or if you start to feel like it's starting to get too hot in the kitchen for you and you don't really want something that serious, I would recommend you just kind of like test the waters a little bit and see if it comes up, and then be like, oh, yeah, no, I just was curious about it or something, and back off. However you want to play it. But if she starts like trying to feel you out to come meet her family, she's trying to pull you into marriage land, right? That's a really, really important thing to be aware of. Again, nothing to be scared of, but just you gotta be aware, like that's really what's going on. Cause I know this guy, and I was telling my mother-in-law this story too. I know this dude, and again, I won't say where I know him from, but he is going through a similar situation. He just started dating this girl, like this year, like less than 6 months ago, and he's really getting really close, and cozy with her family, and spending nights over with her family, and her peoples are saying, yeah, come on through, and his girlfriend's like, hey, you should come on over to the house, and you should spend the New Year's with us, and it's like um um they're pulling you into marriage, and I think like his situation, it's probably because of his that family's well off, and she wants a kid. She wants a mixed kid. It's kind of I get kind of Gaijin Hunter vibes from her, just from knowing him and hearing the stats of the relationship. That's what the feeling that I'm getting. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. So let me see if I can do this. Because sorry, I got this stream going, and I think that's affecting the quality of this. So I'm trying to minimize the amount of Wi-Fi I'm using just to kind of get this settled. Okay, Lord. She's from Okinawa, and she went to the brick house. She went to jail? She went to jail. Okay. Okay. Or the brick house, my image of the brick house is jail. Or Akalenga? Okay, I don't know. Let me know. Let me know. Micro evolve. Let me know if you still watching this. But But okay. Anyway, um, back to New Year's Eve. Sorry. So yeah, so just be aware of that, right? Like any mention of New Year's Eve, any getting pulled in there, you're on the road to marriage. It's a really serious thing, right? So let me give you just a rundown of some of the basic things you're gonna need to be aware of, like when you're going there. If you've never experienced, if you don't really know too much about New Year's Eve here in Japan and the family side of it. So it's not. Remember, like for me, I don't know if I said it here. I said it on the podcast maybe in the past. New Year's in Japan is my favorite holiday here because America, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday. And the vibe of those two is very much similar. It's a family oriented house party type vibe. And that's what you're really going to be stepping into. So, um, um but there's more of a structure to it, and the main thing to realize too, which it clicked in me a couple years ago, that in America, I'd say, like if you split midnight, right, the stroke of midnight down the middle, the majority of the action in America happens before midnight. Before midnight, we're counting down, we're drinking champagne, we're celebrating the end of this year. Is kind of what we're really doing. Japan is the opposite. The After the stroke of midnight is where the not 90%, but like 80% of the activity really happens, right? The celebration really happens afterwards. So before, we're kind of preparing for midnight. So it's really like kind of quiet. Osoji is what we're doing. I'm cleaning the house. I've been started cleaning stuff, changing stuff, washing stuff, doing a whole bunch of other stuff, maintenance and stuff like that around the house. And then all that ends at midnight, and then you move into New Year's. So um, for example, if you do spend time, if you're spending the holidays with your in-laws, you're getting married. There's no way around it, right? If if you're spending the night around New Year's, that's a huge deal. Okay. If you're just going to visit, you're on the path to marriage. Let me just say that, right? But if you're in sorry, I'm just checking back and forth to make sure the stream is okay. Um, where am I? So New Year's Eve, we have a few things that you're going to need to do, right? The most important thing is you're going to eat toshikoshi soba, which is, if you had like Japanese soba, it's just Japanese soba, right? It's just soba. That's all it is. It's just noodles, and you eat it. It's significant for like having a long life going to the next year and stuff like that. So just eat the noodles, right? Okay, don't even if you don't like them so much, like just eat them. Okay, whatever gets thrown your way, just eat it. Don't put up a fuss, right? Because you're gonna be rude. Okay, you're gonna get the noodles. That's the thing. You might get some ozoni after midnight. You're probably gonna get a lot of alcohol. If you're not a drinker, let it be known way beforehand that you don't drink. Don't just show up and be like, "I'm good," because if you drink, your relatives are gonna be like, "We're drinking together," and depending on the area, they're gonna want to drink a lot. I was getting wasted. Like it was just like, oh, you're the foreign guy. Oh yeah, you can drink. Come on over here. The drinkers are like, come on over here, sit down, and we got blasted. I mean, I had a great time, but so that's basically that. Watching the countdown, stuff like that. New Year's Day, New Year's morning, you're gonna probably have ozoni. Depending on the area, it's different recipes. I like it here. It's just like mochi, which is pounded rice cake in some soup. It's good. I love it. It's bomb. Sometimes a little chicken, how they do it here. It is good. Then comes the osechi, right? The osechi, you just power through osechi. It's just like the traditional Japanese New Year's food. You're supposed to eat it for 3 days. I am not a fan of it, like at all. I don't think you'll be a fan of it. It's just a lot of different stuff. It's just traditional preserved Japanese food. I don't think some people like it just from tradition, but a lot of people don't. They just eat it just because of what it is. But yeah, it's not good, right? Okay, so just take a few things, just shove it in your mouth, down it with some alcohol, and that'll be it. I look for like the ham or like the meats and stuff like that, and then that's normally okay. But trust me, everything, if you Google Osechi, Osechi, again, in the future I'll have things set up a bit more. Maybe in the replay when I cut this into clips, you'll probably see it somewhere around here. Um, but everything tastes completely different than it looks, so you're not really gonna enjoy what you taste because it's just like completely different than our like Western palates are used to. So it's really preserved with a lot of sugar, a lot of like, I don't know, whatever. Anyway, um then you're also gonna deal with New Year's money. You're gonna have the house parties thing comes, you're gonna have relatives coming in, little kids or teenagers get New Year's money. As a guest, you're not gonna need to deal with that until you're actually married. Then that becomes between you and your partner how you divvy up paying your in-laws, kids, cash. But then when you have kids, they pay your kids cash. It's just a Japanese thing. Like you just gotta like accept it, right? Um, there's Ekiden, which is the relay marathon. There's also soccer on. You just gotta watch it. You just the TV's on. You're just watching stuff, right? Just watching stuff, drinking. There's a bunch of food out. Not all of it is gonna be to your liking. But you know, people will tell you you don't have to eat whatever you don't want because Japanese people don't really push stuff on you, but they kind of push stuff on you. So so just eat what you can. Maybe talk to your girlfriend beforehand and you know, ask her like what kind of food there's going to be, tell her what kind of food you like, what kind of food you don't like to eat, so that beforehand, so that you know, you're not just surprised and they give you a whole bunch of stuff and you're just like, I don't like any of this crap. Like that's gonna that's like the worst case scenario, right? um there are some games, some depending on the situation, there are games that you might play with the family, like card games, board games, kids playing video games, like, you know, might go outside and do some stuff. Then you're gonna have to take a visit to the shrine, probably at some point, you know, to pray. Depending on the area, it might be busy, it might not be. Everyone might be looking at you all crazy. Your girlfriend is gonna have her arm around you super tight because it's like, this is my man, you know, and more than likely it's the community she grew up with. So everyone's gonna know her and everyone's gonna know her family. They're gonna be greeting people, and it's like, oh, this is the foreign guy, the future husband kind of guy. So you're being set up for all these things. Not set up in a negative way, but that's just the way things are moving in that direction, right? And you just gotta be prepared for it. You can't just be wishy-washy, like, no, we're just hanging out. And they're kind of introducing you to all their whole community, and then like 4 months later you're like, whatever, I'm not feeling you, I want some space, and I don't show up next year and we break up. Like it, that's totally not a cool thing. I would say, like, if you're going to New Year's, just be prepared to be in it for life, blood in, blood out, like I said, like the mafia, right? That's what making you a made man. Think about it like that, and then you'll be all right. um One, there is one exception to New Year's Day. If there's a death in the family that year, like a relative or some significant death in the family, the host family doesn't have a New Year's party, right? So that's like the only situation where that's really an issue. But yeah, I think those are like the main things you're gonna really need to know. This is the first stream, as you can see. Like, we're gonna work out a bunch of bugs and stuff like that. Hopefully, the audio at least is okay. I'll check it out on the replay. Let me know with a comment or anything like that, and hopefully this is decent. And if it works out, we'll be doing more of this in the future. But again, I just gotta figure out a bunch of stuff. Technically, do I do this live? Do I record? Like, you know, stuff like that. I might even have to erase this whole thing if it's just complete garbage. But at least we got through it. So it's like about 12, almost 12:30 now. I got work tomorrow, so I'm gonna get up out of here. Thank you guys. I hope it was educational. I hope it was fun. I had fun doing it. I really want to do more of these. In the future, I'm gonna need to upgrade my equipment, but we'll figure that out. All right, y'all. Holler at you soon. Peace.